Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you're all well. Today, inshallah, we will be studying Suratul Humaza, which is again a Meccan surah, and it is the 104th surah of the Holy Quran. So let's begin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahumma anfa'na bima allamtana wa allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna ilma. O Allah, benefit us by that which you have taught us, and teach us that which will benefit us and increase us in knowledge. Rabbi zidni ilma. O my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Suratul Humaza. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wailul likulli humazatil lumazah. Woe to every scorner, fault finder. Alladhi jama'a malan wa addadah. Who collects wealth and continuously counts it. Yahsabu annama lahu akhladah. He thinks that his wealth will make him immortal. Kalla layumbadhanna fil hutamah. No, he will surely be thrown into the crushing torment. Wama adraka mal hutamah. And what can make you know what is the crushing torment? Narullahil muqadah. It is the fire of Allah, eternally fueled. Allati tattali'u alal af'idah, which will rise over the guilty hearts. Innaha alayhim muqsadah. Indeed, hellfire will be closed down upon them. Fi amadim mumaddadah, in extended columns. In the previous surah, Suratul Asr, we had studied about two types of people. Allah had mentioned two types of people. Firstly, those whom will be failures in the eternal life. And secondly, those whom shall be saved from eternal loss and will be successful in the eternal life. And also we studied four characteristics of the ones who shall be rewarded with eternal bliss. These four characteristics that were identified were: number one, Iman, faith; Amal Saleh, good deeds; number three, Tawasi bil Haq, urging each other to truth; and number four, Tawasi bis Sabr, urging each other to patience. That is, having faith in certain metaphysical realities or a certain ideology will definitely, naturally lead to certain kinds of good deeds which are in accordance with that ideology, and then that person will want others to follow it as well if he believes in the truth of that ideology, and he will urge each other to the same truth, and also he will urge others to be patient in this cause. So, and all those possessing these characteristics, we were told, will be saved from eternal loss. And we also discussed that faith, the faith that the person has, forms a person's worldview, and that in turn shapes the character. And obviously this is expressed through the person's actions, which the Quran terms good deeds. Some of these Amal Salihah, these good deeds, have been mentioned in the Holy Quran. For example, to show kindness and good conduct to your parents, to your relatives, to your neighbors, to your employees, to all those around you. And then, and obviously to be just to them, to be fair to them, to give them their just due, to not cheat, to not lie, etc., and to share your wealth with others. And then we notice that the term Amal Saleh itself is so broad that it encompasses a huge variety of actions, and it depends on the individual and in his individual capacity, in his particular circumstances, for him to figure out intelligently how he can carry out those good deeds in his particular set of circumstances, how he can carry out those good deeds. We discussed Amal-e Saleh in detail and what it could mean in Suratul Asr, and how the different scholars have understood the term and what it could mean. In the same way, Quran has termed the opposite worldview of Iman and faith to be kufr, disbelief. This worldview of kufr or disbelief also shapes a certain character, but naturally. And Quran has described the characteristics of a kafir, a disbeliever, in great detail. However, we must remember here that the term kafir used in the Quran is basically used to describe a character who has understood the truth. He has understood the truth with clarity and then knowingly rejected it or denied it for whatever reason. But he has understood the truth for himself, and after understanding it with clarity has rejected it for something else, because obviously the truth for the kafir is not of the ultimate importance. It doesn't have top priority in his life. The Quran has described the kafir's traits in various places. The disbeliever has certain traits, or even the hypocrite for that matter. This means that if the person claims to be a true believer, he must not possess those traits, because the worldview that he has is based on his faith, is based on his iman. So, due to the worldview that he has, he must not exhibit the disbelievers or the hypocrites' traits or vices. In this surah, some traits of the disbeliever have been mentioned. Humaza is basically translated to mean scorner, mocker. Lumaza, mocker, fault finder, someone who's mudslinging, who's slandering others. So such a person believes that his wealth and resources are and will be his eternal support, and therefore earning more and more wealth and resources becomes the ultimate goal of his life. Wailul likulli humazatil lumaza. Woe to every scorner and mocker. The word wail in Arabic is used to condemn something or show displeasure. Originally, the term used was waili fulanin, and then it got reduced to just wail. Humaza, the root word of humaza is ha mim ze, and the literal meaning of this word is to push someone, biting, hitting, to cause division, to backbite, fault finding, picking the faults of others. Lumaza, the root word of lumaza is lam mim ze, which means to point at something or someone, to taunt, malicious gossip, bad-mouthing, mudslinging. The scholars of tafsir have mentioned the following different meanings of humaza and lumaza. According to Abdullah ibn Abbas, humaza is the one who backbites, and lumaza is the one who indulges in fault finding. According to Abu Zaid, humaza is done by hand physically, harming someone physically, and lumaza is done by the tongue. According to Abu Aliya, humaza is done face to face, and lumaza is done behind someone's back. Another opinion says humaza is fault finding, mudslinging done out loud or publicly, and lumaza is done privately, whispering and through gestures or facial expressions. Another opinion states that humaza lumaza is used to depict a person who taunts others with demeaning nicknames. Humaza is one who taunts his companion with scornful expressions, and lumaza is one who mentions others in bad words and finds faults in others constantly. And lastly, another opinion states that humaza and lumaza refer to backbiters and people who constantly indulge in mudslinging and fault finding. After quoting the above opinions, Imam Razi writes, all these interpretations are quite close together and they all imply taunting and fault finding. either this is done seriously out of jealousy or hatred, or it is done in jest, jokingly. So here we conclude today's lesson, and inshallah in the next class we will begin with the second ayat of Surah Humaza. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.